Welcome to the GC&HM Podcast. We're sitting down here today with Mr. Lance Roark. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing fantastic, guys. Thanks for asking.
Well, it's a beautiful weekend today out here with Born and Raised. I mean, couldn't ask for better weather at all.
Yeah. No, it's great. The weather's not too hot. It's not windy. It's honestly a perfect weekend. I don't know how we pulled it off.
Exactly, yeah. So you played earlier today. How did the set earlier today go for you?
It went great. All the guys played good. Good crowd. We had a ton of people for kicking the festival off this morning. We were a little iffy on what exactly we might come into, but we had a full house, and so we're just really grateful for that. But it was an incredible experience.
Yeah, for sure.
So things have been picking up for you recently. You've been doing a lot of stuff. We were trying to get you back in July.
Yeah.
But you've been so busy. Tell us about what's been going on.
I have, yeah. This summer kicked off with Kyle Nix and the 38s, and then it progressed into Tanner Usry shows, which led up to opening some shows for Co-Wetzel up in Montana and Wyoming and Colorado. And so we done a 2.5-week run with those guys, and we finished July out, or well, I should say August. We started August at the RYMAN in Nashville, Tennessee, at the
I mean,
with Turnpike Troubadours. It was.
I mean, you can't. I mean, that's the one of the biggest venues in all of country. Like,
yeah,
and you're already doing. That's awesome, dude.
It was. It's just got a crazy energy to it.
Yeah.
It's just the whole room is. It seems like you're very present in the moment with the whole room. It was incredible to stand on the same stage as Hank Williams, Jr. and Senior and Marty Stewart and all the great country acts. I don't know how I was so blessed to be a part of it, honestly.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, when you're standing there in the lights, like what's going through your mind? Is it just like, are you just focusing on the set you're playing, or are you like thinking?
You have any jitters at all still, or is it all just like go time?
So it definitely is jitters, but I've learned how to turn those jitters into, go time. Like anxiety is like built up in your chest, but if you kind of learn how to spread it through your body, so it's not just like right there. But for that set, the couple first songs were very nerve-wracking. I don't care how much practice you have, like you're gonna kind of get a little nervous, and it's good. You're human if you do. So alien if you don't, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you sign the book? Don't they have a book or something?
I never signed a book, I don't think. That might be for more of the headliners there. Just as an opener, I don't know if I did. If I should have, but.
Well, I imagine you'll be signing the book pretty soon.
Of course. Yeah.
I hope so. St. Charles Wesley Godwin was out there for 2 nights, so I thought, man, that's great.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
So, you said you opened for Turnpike there, and you're actually opening them here coming up soon, right?
December 29th at Billy Bob's in Fort Worth, Stockyards.
The Ryman, Billy Bob's. What else you're gonna go to Red Rocks? I mean, you'll be headlining everywhere.
Man, I hope. Yeah, so the Billy Bob's is sold out, so if you're anybody was hoping to get tickets, I don't know, you might have to find somebody that's selling them, I guess. But, yeah. And then I've got some tours with American Aquarium coming up in October. I fly to New York. And so I've got 3 shows with them, and then 1 show down in Texas with them and Carson Jeffrey. And after that, I end the year with American Aquarium for 16 dates, and we start in Atlanta, we go up to Salt Lake City, and then we end in Memphis. And we're coming through Tulsa at the Cain's Ballroom December 8th.
Nice.
So, and then Turnpike, and then that's the end of the year.
Yeah.
But
have you done anything with Carson Jeffrey before?
I haven't. No. I did some stuff with Braxton Keith and William Beckman at Fuller's Country Store, where I'll be back with Carson. I haven't got to meet him yet, but I'm really excited too. Like I've heard the guy's great.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. We had him on 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Really?
Like
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks ago. Yeah, he was an awesome guest.
Yeah.
So what got you into music? I mean, like from or when did you get into music? Let's start with that.
I started playing guitar whenever I was 9, and it was a guitar that my grandpa bought me whenever I had turned 6, and the same guitar that he bought me is the same guitar that I play today on stage. It's a '91 Martin D16, and it'll probably be the one that I retire here coming up soon, just because it's got so much sentimental value.
Yeah.
So I kind of grew up listening to like Johnny Cash and Merle Haggard and Willie Nelson and Townes Van Zandt and Guy Clark for all that stuff, and along with like Leonard Skinner and Marshall Tucker Band. So that's kind of who really got me wanting to play music, was all those guys.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Did you start singing when you were 9 too, or did you just start out playing? Or
funny thing, I actually didn't want to be a singer. I just wanted to be a guitar player. And so my dad was always like, I don't think you understand, like, you know, like, you can sing, so you should sing and play guitar at the same time. I was like, I'm never going to learn how to play and sing at the same time. Like, it's impossible. You know, it's like 9-year-old me thinking. Yeah. And so I started singing in my teens, I think.
Yeah.
Started a band, you know, whenever I was like 13 or 14, and just went with it from there. But yeah.
Is that the same band you're playing with today, or has
no?
the lineup changed?
Yeah, definitely different. Different parts have moved for sure. The band I've got today, we've just been playing together for about the past 6 months, almost a year maybe. And it's a guitar player, you know, electric guitar player, Cooper Wall, and then Tony Spots is my fiddle player, Eric Clayton's my bass player, and Colby Bunch is my drummer. And we all kind of started meeting up together about 6 months ago. But
awesome. So you've also been a pretty notable songwriter as well. So how did you get into songwriting? How did you, like, what really inspired you to start writing music, not just playing it?
Yeah, that's a great question. Kind of listening to the old, like Steve Earle. I always loved his songwriting and just like his feel of, you know, like on the road stuff. And I always had my own experiences as I was an electrician, and I traveled for a couple of years. And matter of fact, like when I turned 18, I moved straight out of the house and was just moving. And so like I've always kind of liked that singer-songwriter style of telling a story. And I always wanted to be able to combine the singer-songwriter style of kind of like rock and roll-ish, country, edgy music. Because I just, not that somebody else isn't doing it, I just wanted to be able to put my own flavor on it. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
That's awesome. So, along with the songwriting, you've written some pretty big songs as of late. You've actually written some songs for Turnpike.
Yeah.
So how did that come about? How did you get connected with them and start writing music with them?
So I met R.C. Edwards, the bass player and founder of Turnpike, at Ned's in Tahlequah. I was doing an open mic there, and he was like, "Hey man, you know, you sound great. Do you want to come play for me this Friday?" And we were playing. Because he had a group called R.C. and the Ambers. Yeah. And that was during the Turnpike hiatus, and so he had his own stuff going. And I said, absolutely. This was a Tuesday night, so he sent me all, you know, at the time we were playing like 2.5-hour shows. So he sent me 2.5 hours of material, and I learned it all before that Friday and went and played with him. And ever since then, we've always, you know, hung out together. We lived just a few minutes away, and the songwriting aspect, RC was actually somebody that I looked up to for the song, you know, lyrically. Yeah. Outside of Evan too, I always liked RC's style of. He might have been more the lighthearted songwriter, but if you looked into it deep enough, you've seen like there was a lot more than just lightheartedness, and so he taught me a lot, and so we actually wrote Chip and Mill together. And they put it on their new Cat in the Rain album, and they released it as a single for their second single release. And yeah, it's doing pretty good, I think.
And I've got to say, I've been listening to Turnpike for a long time. Since I mean, we grew up in a similar area, and so we know how big
Turnpike's
they are.
King.
Turnpike's that's the biggest act around for us. So I've been listening to Turnpike for a long time. Been super excited to hear the new album. I love the new album, but when Chipping Mill came out, I'm like, this is like one of my favorite Turnpike songs to put out.
Well, good.
It's a pleasure to meet one of the writers behind it, and it's awesome to really hear from him.
I gotta back him up on this. Anytime we're around, like hanging out or whatever, and he gets a hold of the remote for the TV, you best believe Chipping Mill's coming on.
At some point tonight, it usually comes on. Yeah. So yeah,
good tunes. It's great tunes.
So last time I talked to your manager, you had a day job still. Is that still the case? Or
I still have a day job. Not that, you know, I could probably almost stop doing it, but I'll stop working whenever my wife can finally stop working.
Yeah.
So I feel like I shouldn't take off, because I do have a bunch of dates in between for the rest of the year, because I just couldn't take any more. I've got a wife and a child at home, so figuring out this is the first year everything's really kind of taken off, so I'm still trying to figure out that fine line of balancing home life and tour life. And I didn't want to go over the top on tour life. If I'm going to do anything, it's going to be home life more.
Yeah.
And so, you know, maybe next year she can start looking at, because things are the trajectory is very good right now. I'm blessed for that. So whenever she can stop working, I'll start slowing down. I work on a high fence ranch that has elk and red stag deer and fallow deer on it.
That's awesome.
And so this is part time for now. It's easy to get off work for that.
What do you say when you like icing off for work? You're like, well, yeah, well, I got to play RYMAN on Friday, and I got to play Billy Bob's on Sunday, so I'm gonna need a couple of days off.
It's funny you think I asked. I'm like, nope, I'm out of here, guys. And they're like, oh yeah, all right, we won't argue that.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
You can't argue with that.
Like,
right?
you know what? We really need you in on this day, because, you know, we can't have you playing the RYMAN. Like, oh man, shucks.
That's great.
I want to tell you a little bit about Deadwake Archery Innovations. They got all kinds of awesome stuff. They create their very own custom designed CNC milled bows, and they do all kinds of crazy colors with the anodization. And you want to tell them a little bit more?
Yeah, so it is a Oklahoma State graduate. They're in Kansas, Oklahoma is where they're established. They do some great stuff, great killing machines for the water, honestly. And just go check them out. Thank you so much for Deadwake Archery Innovation for sponsoring this podcast.
Have to call our RC and be like, man, you're going to have to find somebody else to open the show. I just can't get off work.
That's great.
So do you have hobbies outside of music, or is that kind of your
Yeah,
sole?
no. I'm trying to get more hobbies. I've got just enough of a short-term attention span that I get hyper fixated on a certain hobby for a little while. I'll learn most of it, and then I kind of back off of it and forget about it for a month or two.
You spark me as the outdoorsy type, like the camping stuff, kind of like that, sort of.
Yeah, so I do a lot of fishing, and I do a lot of hunting too. I actually didn't get to go fishing at all this summer. It's just I take that back. I did fish up in Whitefish, Montana, but I didn't catch anything just because I'm not used to trout fishing necessarily.
Yeah.
I'm more of a bass fisher myself,
Yeah.
catfish type guy. But yeah, so I like to camp, hunt and fish. I grew up on 10 Killer Lake, and so I was just right there. I'd walk to the lake sometimes if I had to. I had a 14-foot flat bottom boat I'd used to take out all the time. Still got the boat, but I just don't get to take it out as much.
Yeah. We were talking about Salina a minute ago. Have you ever been to Pumpback?
No, I haven't. No, so my wife is from Salina. Is Pumpback a spot on the lake that you can fish?
It's a what do they call it? It's like it's no motor.
It's
no
a
gas
reservoir
motor.
lake for Hudson.
Yeah.
And whenever Hudson gets down, they pump water in and out for it to keep Hudson at a steady level.
Oh yeah.
So, but it's a no motor lake, like he was saying. So it's only electric motor or paddle boats, basically. And it's a great spot if you ever get to.
Yeah, because they're not getting disturbed, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of really big bass in there too.
Yeah,
lots of smallmouth in there.
Say less. I'm interested. I'm ready to go.
Smallmouth has always been my favorite to catch too. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I going to Pumpback a lot. I catch a lot of drum out there, and those are probably my least favorite.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree.
For a minute, you're like, "Is that a smallmouth? Is that a really big smallmouth?"
Yeah.
You're like, "No, it's just a
pull
drum.
it up."
Yeah.
Take the marble out of their heads.
Yeah.
I tried to, I've always been, and everyone tells me, they're like, don't eat those. They're not any good. I'm like, I gotta try one.
You gotta try one.
And I tried it, and that was the last one. The first one was the last one. So
Red won't take anybody's word for anything. He's like, I gotta know
myself.
myself.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it's a question of personality. I'm the same way. Like, I don't know if I believe that or not.
Well, howdy, folks. Welcome down to Bad Brad's Barbecue. Hey, stop looking at Gus. Stop it. All right, folks, you see here, Jacker's trying to throw some cornhole, and he just can't get her done.
I just cannot hit anything today.
I see that, Jagger.
Man, you gotta have some bad brags. Play that crap when you're hungry.
Vernon always coming in clutch with the barbecue. Oh, yeah, look at that bite, folks. All right, Jagger, let's see it. Look at that. Riding over.
Bad Brad's, where you can't help but be good.
Like Jagger said, folks, Bad Brad's Barbecue, where it's good to be bad.
Do you golf any by chance?
It's funny you ask.
Oh, no.
So I'm right-handed, but I do golf left-handed. So
Really?
I can go either way. Growing up, I'd play baseball, and so anytime like the coach wanted me to for sure hit the ball, I would bat, left-handed.
Yeah.
But if we were trying to get a ball to go a little further, or maybe into the outfield, I'd go right-handed.
Really?
Because I could always just hit harder with my right, but I could always hit with my left. Like could never miss on my left, but the right hand was maybe a different story. Sorry, I need to get closer to this. I keep
You're
backing
fine.
up some.
You're fine.
But no, I do golf. I just don't have any clubs. I tried to buy some clubs the other day, and my wife was like, in the 3 years we've been together, you've never golfed. I was like, because I've been so busy. Like, I just haven't had any time.
I can't believe the similarity with that. 'Cause, I just now, like, this is my first time I really started to play golf. I invested in some clubs, bought a bag, whatever, and it's the same thing. It's like why are you just now getting into this? Because I want to. We're doing videos with it. It's a fun thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah, like I want to go out and drink on the golf cart with the boys, but I just haven't had a chance. Like, I've been so dang busy right now.
Exactly. So you're really young. I assume you're really young. How old are you?
28.
28?
That's
Okay.
still pretty young. I
Yeah,
think.
you're still really young. What year did you get married? How old were you when you got married?
Just 2 years ago, so 26, I
26.
guess.
Okay.
And she was 24 at the time.
Yeah, I was just curious because I'm married as well. I'm 21 right now. I got married when I was not 19, so I was yeah. I found some similarity in that.
Well, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have any songs that are like when you head out of here, what songs are going to be on your playlist?
Probably like Damn Shame by 49 Winchester. I think that's the name of the song, but it's like it's a damn shame. See a white trash. However the song goes, I love 49 Winchester right now. Just because I feel like we're really close in genre for our sounds. Like they're definitely honky tonk, and so am I. But yeah, and like Damn Darling.
Yeah,
that's the one I'm thinking of. But so 49 Winchester. I've been streaming some Wyatt Flores here recently too. So
they were both out here last night.
Yeah,
Wyatt and 49.
I ran into Wyatt. I think the 49 guys had to hit the road. But I was really hoping to catch them. I was just a little bit tied up last night. But
did you catch the Damn Quails last night?
No, I didn't even get a chance to come up. My little girl's in school, so she, we got to get up early and put her on the bus, and that's actually the reason why I've got to leave here, after our podcast and skip out on the next one. Unfortunately, sorry guys.
We're special. We understand. We his favorite podcast is GC&HM Podcast. It's official now. We can title the episode.
Well, we heard a couple people canceled on you today, so shame on them. For that,
I got to counterbalance it somehow.
Yeah, for sure. So, what other you mentioned earlier, people that you grew up listening to, are those the people you really draw inspiration from?
Well, yes and no. I got so far into listening to other people's music for a long time. I decided there's a love and drawback to things. I don't listen to music just all of the time because I don't want to hear a song and 6 months later write a song that's kind of like that. Be like, man, where did that song come from?
Yeah.
So I take, a couple weeks or two at a time, and I try not to listen to music. That's so hard to do as an artist or anybody because music's everywhere. But I still draw inspiration from them because I like the sound, and like I was talking about earlier, of trying to blend the singer-songwriter lyric style of writing, is poetry is what it is, and with the more of the southern rock styling of guitar and instrument wise, because I feel like it was either or for a long time. That's just my perception though. If somebody knows another band that's really doing it cool, I'd love to hear it. But like Skinner's got great songs, great lyrics. but they're not. Some of them are not just really, really deep. And I wanted to mix that deep lyrical poetry with some really interesting styling of music. And so yes and no.
Yeah, so that's really interesting because we've heard of like artists. A lot of artists take inspiration from people, and then like sometimes they sound very similar to other artists. But it's refreshing to hear somebody else that's like that. They want so much not to sound like a song that they may have heard 6 months ago to just not listen to music for an extended period of time, just so they can.
Yeah, I think it's good to just unplug from media in general sometimes, and I'm trying to get better at that. I noticed that, or I read a interview with Zach Bryan here recently, and he's like, "Man, I got a flip phone nowadays." I'm like, "Man, I can't do it at my level right now because I got to be on social media constantly." But I will say, like, I'm very much looking forward to eventually dropping such the iPhone and just having to call somebody instead of being like, "Hey, can you come over here?" Have to do something. But it's still fun. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm kind of old-fashioned in like that sense of, social media can get a hold of you. And it's crazy, like this next generation is really taking a step back from social media is what I've kind of noticed here recently. Yeah. But
I've always wondered, like, with the songwriting thing, like you're talking about, like, it must be really difficult because there's so many songs, so many melodies. Like, at some point, you're going to cross over. Yeah. So I've always wondered, like, how people go about, like, trying to avoid, because we know some people will listen to something where, like, that's like, we'll play them side by side. And you're like, it's kind of the same thing.
It's happened more times than like we want to.
That's very true. Oh no, I can't say that. Never mind, I won't say that. There are some similarities, but like even me, like I drew inspiration from Turnpike, and I just so happened to get a song on Turnpike's album. It wasn't because of my songwriting was so much different. It is because I do have similarities with that group, and I think that they were kind of doing the same thing that I had envisioned for my journey, was to create a more of a kind of rock and country style, because they're definitely rock, and somebody on the opposite end, but on the same end is like somebody like Zach and J.R. Carroll and Wyatt Flores. Like they've all got the same inspirations. It's funny that we all listen to the same people really without ever knowing it. But yeah,
I was talking to him about that too when the album came out, like how we could listen to like Chipping Mill, and then you can listen to like Mean Old Son or whatever it is, and you kind of feel that similar type vibe going on. Like it's really cool how you can have that same sort of.
And it's neat that they're wrote by three separate people. Like Evan wrote all of the other one, and RC and I wrote the other one. It is neat. Like I will say that we were hoping to get that song on Turnpike's new album. So I was definitely writing in the style, and so was RC. He's just writing how he writes. But, trying to think of ways to write a song that would sound like a Turnpike song. Yeah. And also keep some of my little bits in there, and RC keep true to his bits too. But yeah, it's interesting to see the same thing.
In the same rung, I think it's really interesting that artists can sound different from different albums as well. Like one obvious is Sturgill Simpson. I mean, you look at High Top Mountain,
huge fan,
and then you go to A Sailor's Guide, and it's completely different. Then
Sound and Fury is
totally. and then it's two bluegrass albums with the same songs. Yeah, mostly the same songs. It's from his earlier albums, and they sound completely different. Yeah, and it's just really cool to see artists. I love it when artists can branch out.
I'm glad to hear that because I got some stuff up my sleeve.
Anything you can share right now?
Well, not yet. I do got some stuff coming out next year, or the goal and plan is to have a single release next January, and that single will be a recording from live at the Canes Ballroom whenever I opened for Tanner. Yeah. I recorded my whole set, and we're going to release the song. It's going to be Oklahoma Blacktop. Possibly, I don't know. Might be. But we have a fiddle player nowadays, and we don't have an organ player like we did. So the music is a little bit different, and I wanted to be able to convey what I sound like live. Yeah. And because the record does sound like me, but also the lives are always different. Yeah.
I'm super pumped for that because Oklahoma Blacktop's is my favorite song that I've heard.
Yeah.
So if you're just listening to music, would you prefer to listen to a live version or like a
Ooh,
cut
that's a
version?
tough one, man. So like I listen to if I listen to Sturgill, it's all of his live stuff with like him and Sunday Valley, or let's see, who's another one. I grew up on like a lot of classic rock, so like if I listen to Joe Walsh, I don't want to listen to the recording. I want to listen to him live because I think it's just so interesting on how, because I almost feel like I'm still there, or was there in the 70s and 80s. But yeah, it's a tough question on that one. I like to listen to them both because both of them are going to be just a slight bit different.
Yeah.
Which is neat. I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, got to run here pretty quick. You got any social medias or anything you want to plug for us?
I do, yeah. You can check me out on Instagram, Lance Roark Music, Facebook, Lance Roark Music, and my website is lanceroarkmusic.com. And that's about all I'm on.
Super simple.
Yeah.
We like it.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, well, thank you for
appreciate
sitting
it.
down with
It's
us. We appreciate it. So,
Easy chat. So
Yeah.
it's been a blast. So thanks again, and hopefully we'll catch you down the road sometime.
Yeah, sounds good, guys.
Awesome. Hey guys, we want to give a huge shout out to our new sponsor, Red Earth Designs. They made all of these new t-shirts you're seeing. You can find those on social media if you go to our page, Guitars Cowboys Pod. You can click on that, message us, get a shirt, all that good stuff.
They also made these awesome cups for us, guys. They do everything from screen printing, vinyl, laser etching. They will probably even give you a tattoo if you can give them enough time. But go check out Phil there in Perry. Great shop. We'll be looking to go there in the future, give you guys kind of a lowdown on their background.
Thank you so much to Red Earth Designs for sponsoring us.